Thanks to Clean My Mac X for sponsoring this video, the all-in-one cleaning and optimization software for your Mac. What is going on? Brian Tong here, and welcome to the Apple Bits for everything good and bad inside the world of Apple. You know why you're here. These are my reactions to the entire Apple event, and I know this is going to be a long video, but stick with it. It's a real good one. We're going to cover the good apples, we're going to cover the bad apples, everything in between. Well, I would say mostly good because we just had one of the best events Apple has put on in a long time. And I'm not even hyping this up because when they tease us with the spring-loaded invite, they were not playing around. You know, most keynotes, we get about 3 key hardware announcements, but this time we got 5 on it. There were 5 new hardware drops: the M1 iPad Pro, the all-new colored M1 Imax. We finally got to see AirTags, a new Apple TV 4K, and a purple freaking iPhone 12. Purple. And if you know me, you know my favorite color. You know how much I love that purple phone, purple iPhone. Whoa, okay, hold on. I'm getting a little carried away here because the one song that you cannot sing on the internet is a song from Prince, because they're gonna come and get you. Purple phone, purple iPhone. Woo! Okay, I'm sorry, but I can't help myself. This phone is gorgeous, and hey, I purple you. And if this video gets taken down, you will know why. Pre-orders for this new iPhone 12 are this Friday, and it's gonna be available on April the 30th. Now, we got a couple app and services announcements that we'll touch on in a bit, but let's just like build up to the big stuff just like the keynote did. And if we're talking about big stuff, did you see Tim Cook? Like, he was looking swole. Hey, I guess Apple Fitness really does work, because I wasn't sure if they swapped out Tim for that Restaurant Impossible guy, Robert Irvine. We see you with those gains, Timmy. Like, he probably wanted to start out the event with, "Good morning. I've got your tickets right here to the gun show." Oh, hold on, that's not Tim, but this is. Yeah, he still looks yoked. Okay, but let's get back to the product. That's why we're here. Apple led with the Apple Card family. It's a new feature that lets people share an Apple Card and build credit together, with 2 people allowed to be co-owners of a card. And then Apple revamped their podcast app with a new look, discovery methods, and podcast subscriptions to allow premium subscriptions for content alongside of free Apple Podcasts. Now, if you don't know already, I run my own podcast, the Apple Bits XL. It's through my own Patreon already that you can kindly support if you'd like at patreon.com/Brian Tong. That's what's called a plug. So this doesn't affect me immediately, but these were the 2 warm-ups before Apple just started swinging. So first up, AirTags are finally here. And the biggest surprise, $29 a pop and $99 for 4 of them as a bundle. The rumors told us we were maybe thinking $39, but $29 is obviously better. And that makes them cheaper than even Samsung's Smart Tags Plus that are $39 each. We got the precision finding feature that looks fun, if losing something can actually be fun. You can even design them with custom characters or emojis, which I'm absolutely gonna do. There will be a range of accessories for bags, keychains, or suitcases, but I really want someone to make like a big chain with an AirTag hanging from it. I'm serious, like I'd put a heart or maybe a poop emoji on it. So if you make it, I will buy it. Just let me know. Because for me, sometimes I get lost in my good looks.
Ew.
Apple's also working with fancy schmancy Hermes for AirTag accessories, where you can buy something like their luggage tag for $449. That is over 15 times the price of a single AirTag, but you do get one AirTag with an etched Hermes signature with it, so you're actually getting a deal. And I know some of you might be looking at that stimmy check right now. Please don't do it. But come on, Hermes, at that price, that's a bad apple.
Boo!
But AirTags, they're gonna be a success, because the first thing that my mom texted me was, "I'm going to get AirTags for your dad." And she should, because he might get lost in a tree one day. See, I wasn't kidding, but she never sends me messages like that after any keynote. Now, you can pre-order AirTags this Friday. They're gonna be available on April the 30th, and I will absolutely be getting one. Okay, next up, the new Apple TV 4K. The main design looks exactly the same. Sure, it gets a new A12 Bionic processor. It plays 4K HDR and high frame rate, which is typically up to 60 frames per second. AirPlay from your phone also supports that. And you can use your iPhone and its sensors to give you the best color accuracy by calibrating it with your TV screen. But then that new Siri remote, that is something that I could get behind. It has more buttons, a 5-way navigation click pad that's also touch sensitive, And the best feature, a touch-sensitive outer wheel to jog through content more accurately. This is taking me back to one of Apple's best interfaces of all time, the original iPod. And it also has a power and mute button. Dear Lord, thank you for answering my prayers. That's a good Apple. It supports HDMI 2.1, Wi-Fi 6, and gigabit Ethernet, but I'll have to buy a new Apple TV just to get the new remote. I see what you're doing here, Apple, and you almost got me. Almost. Well, just not yet. Well, maybe? A 32 gig model starts at $179 and $199 for the 64 gig model, and I can order it on April the 3rd. I mean, you can order it, and they're available the second half of May. Pre-orders start April 30th. All right, before we get to the main attractions, thanks again to Clean My Mac X for sponsoring this video. It's the all-in-one cleaning and optimizing software for your Mac. Clean My Mac X is one package that combines the most useful features for your Mac. You got Smart Scan. This is the opening feature of the app, and it runs cleanup tasks to reclaim free space. It shows you optimization tasks to be done based on your Mac's condition and does a quick malware check. It will also help you manage your free space more effectively. Its system junk feature detects old user and system cache files that are no longer needed and lets you delete them. And Space Lens lets you see what exactly takes valuable space by building a virtual map of your Mac's storage. Clean My Mac X is a Mac app to fight digital junk and organize your storage in the most convenient way for you. It's more than just a Mac cleaner. It doesn't show you files you already know you have. It deep scans your Mac for temporary files and app leftovers that aren't so easy to find manually. Clean My Mac X recently rolled out native support for Apple Silicon Macs and got an entirely new fresh look. A new interface, has new fancy glass-like icons, cool animations, and hover effects, and the new look perfectly matches the Mac OS Big Sur style. I've used it for years, so download a free trial of Clean My Mac X by using the link in the description. Okay, now let's get to the big products, and we start off with the colored M1 Imax. These look amazing. Like, look at those colors. Vibrant, they're popping on the back, they're muted and lighter on the front. That's actually a light gray border and not bright white. That's supposed to be easier on the eyes on the front and allow the content to be the focus. And I'm sorry, all you experts, but to me, a black border would not look good with this design. They also have green, yellow, orange, and pink. Pink? But that's deep red on the back, but then it's called pink. That's what Apple's calling it. I like to think of it like AirPods Max. Like, that's not red. No, no, no. That color is also pink. Pink different. Plus, there's my favorite, purple Mac, purple iMac. Oh, I swear I'll stop that, okay? I pinky swear. Now, there's also blue and silver to finish it off. So we got 7 colors. There's really a color for everyone. But do the iMacs stand for Infinity Max? Because we got the whole gauntlet here. I think the difference is when Tim Cook snaps his fingers, Apple doubles its profits. And for all y'all who want a pro space gray, hey, patience, entitled ones. So the colors of the new iMac were really hidden in that Hello Invite logo, like a lot of you super sleuths thought. For me, colors matter. They bring out this emotional response, and I did ask for a purple iMac when the first rumors leaked out, and Apple, they listened to me. Like, they really do listen. I'm sure that they made the purple color, just a month ago, just for me after watching my video. Purple. You're packing M1 performance into a body that is 50% smaller in volume and then has 30% less footprint, but then brings a 24-inch display compared to the 21.5-inch iMac before it. The stand, it doesn't have like the larger sloping dramatic curve, so it gives you 2 more inches of room on a desk for more space. Some of you were so turned off by the chin, but I don't know, I wasn't. Okay, that's pretty funny. But I think the thinness of this iMac is just going to be even more impressive in person. I'm going to have to wait for myself to find out. But it's as thin as 11.5 millimeters. That is 75% thinner than the 21.5-inch iMac was at its thickest point. Now, you're getting a 4.5K Retina display, but it does not support HDR video. I wanted to make sure you know that if that's important to you. But this thing is basically what, like 80% all screen, and then they packed all the components into the chin. You got the logic board in there, plus you have dual woofers and dual tweeters for that speaker system, which supports spatial audio and Dolby Atmos. Then the M1 inside, this thing is going to be a beast. We know that. It's 85% faster than the previous 21.5-inch iMac. It has a 1080p FaceTime camera with improved image quality. The iMac's 3 mic system, it has 2 on the top edge and then 1 on the top back center. This is to keep it away from the speakers on the bottom, so that reduces noise feedback. Now, there is no power supply internally on this machine, so it's gonna have that power brick, but that also gives you a gigabit Ethernet option that stays away from the main body. I just don't think people would have reacted as harshly as they did to this design if there were never rumors of that super thin bezel-less iMac and you had all those renders that set up everyone's expectations versus reality. I just don't think it's that bad. And since some of you just act out like grown-ass babies when you don't get what you want, trust me, like I see the comments, Apple didn't announce a larger screen iMac, and we all know that's what's coming next. Hopefully by the end of this year, y'all just gotta chill out. Now, I look at it this way, the MacBook Pro 13 and the Air, that was kind of like the foundation for the laptops, and then it's just gonna keep on getting more advanced. I look at this Mac the same way. It's the foundation and starting point, and this is still a beast. Like that next step up for the Mac is gonna be even beastier. And I think I just made up a word. Okay, hold on, let me check and look this up. I'm just gonna use Google and type in beastier. And the first hit on Google, hey, is from Urban Dictionary. So if Urban Dictionary says it's a word, well, then obviously it's a word. But here we go, beastier, stronger than beast, 10 times better than beast, overall big, and better than person who claims themselves as beast. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I probably should not read that next entry on Urban Dictionary. I'm gonna put this away. Now, the new iMacs can also be color matched with a Magic Keyboard, mouse, and trackpad. The new Magic Keyboard now has a Touch ID option, so you can use it to unlock your computer or for secure payment, and even instantly switch between multiple users in a household. And that's super slick because I could see this being used in maybe a more community, family style computer setting because of its size. You've got its cool color design, and lucky for Apple, you can't play Fortnite on it, so the kids won't be able to take over. The new 24-inch iMac starts at $1299, but it has different options at different configuration levels. The entry-level $1299 gets you the M1 with an 8-core CPU and 7-core GPU. Models starting at $1499 and above come with the 8-core CPU and 8-core GPU and are the only ones with the yellow, orange, and purple color options. Now, the entry level comes with 2 Thunderbolt USB 4 ports, but if you want 2 additional USB 3 ports to make that 4 ports total, you have to jump up to that mid-range iMac and higher. If you want gigabit Ethernet or the Magic Keyboard with Touch ID, that's also on those 2 higher configurations. Now, the entry-level model can get up to 16 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage, while the higher models can get up to 2 terabytes of storage. So if you're looking for the full feature-packed iMac, you've really got to start at that $1499 level and then just customize it from there. Pre-orders start April 30th, and they will be available in the second half of May. And I think the new M1 Imax, they look amazing, and I think they're gonna be great for most people, but as a content creator, like I have to really hold out and see what they do with the even higher end iMac, and maybe even an Apple Silicon Mac Pro before I make a final decision for myself. But I just love this iMac and how it taps into the colorful history and nostalgia from the original iMac. And you know what? That's a good Apple.
Yeah.
I also need to point out that Colleen's all denim fit, like I was loving it. Was that like a jumper or a romper? I think it's a romper. I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna let you all tell me in the comments, is it a jumper or a romper? It's probably the best fit that we've seen at an Apple keynote to date because I would wear it too. Actually, correction, that look was second only to Tim Yost, of course. But that's not all Tim has been doing, because we found out he's like a super spy that can break through Apple's heavily guarded and secure headquarters, even if he's the CEO that has a badge that literally works everywhere at Apple Park. Honestly, thought that might have been Andy Dick at first. So Tim decided to make it way, way harder on himself just to show us this grand finale, the M1 freaking iPad Pro. Seriously, Tim? You could have just used your badge or maybe done like a Jedi hand wave in front of security or just told someone to open the door. Any of those would have actually worked. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that was Tim Cook in there the whole time. So let's talk about the new M1 iPad Pro, because I came into this thinking, what can they do to make me seriously consider an upgrade to my 2018 iPad Pro that does everything I need it to? Well, they kind of did. Apple you have my attention, because putting an M1 into the iPad Pro, to me, that's like the first step. And then this iPad Pro is the most powerful tablet on planet Earth right now, and it has been for a while, but you got to look forward. WWDC is just a month and a half away, and there is no way that they're just popping in an M1 and leaving this thing exactly the same as is. It just feels like we could see a second reveal to this iPad Pro and what it's capable of software-wise in June. Now, performance-wise, this thing is a filthy good Apple, 50% faster than the last iPad that never even scratched the surface of what it's capable of. But let's stop showing comparisons, please, Apple, to the first iPad. Oh, geez, guys, it has 1,500 times faster GPU performance. I can totally feel that today compared to the first iPad. Yeah, thanks for nothing. But I'm instantly excited about this iPad Pro without knowing really what's coming, because the display is better than I thought it would ever be. Its Liquid Retina XDR brings a 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio with 1,000 nits brightness and then 1,600 nits peak brightness, while still having P3 wide color, True Tone, and ProMotion. Its mini LED display literally has the same specs as Apple's Pro Display XDR, but this one fits in your bag. So we are just scratching the surface here. Apple kept touting Lumafusion, and I know it's killer, but I'm waiting for them to say Final Cut Pro in June, hopefully. Now, another big feature, I'll use the ultra-wide front-facing camera with center stage that pans and zooms in and out during video calls. That's something that I'll really use every week, but having this tech in the iPad is not only practical for how I use it, but to me, this is a hint at the future, because you got those rumors of Apple working on this iPad HomePod mishmash smart speaker that could be like the Echo Show 10. Well, this is the first place that they will be testing their center stage tech that could be used in future devices beyond the iPad Pro with that ultra-wide front-facing camera. Now, as a content creator, having the Thunderbolt port could create new workflows that I haven't really anticipated yet, but even faster data transfers could come in handy, and you know they will if you're the type of person that's going to configure it with the new 2 terabyte option. Now, these are features that are targeting professional content creators. This is way overkill for the average user. Even for me, sometimes it's a little over the top, but I have got to imagine that Apple is trying to take us somewhere new, because they showed Lumafusion on an iPad Pro to a Pro Display XDR. That's bonkers. And again, there's no need for me to even have all these bells and whistles. These higher end specs, they're nice. I love them, but maybe I'm gonna have to start using my iPad differently and more like that C word, a computer. But what's a computer? The iPad Pro also has a 5G option now. I'm still not impressed with the quality 5G coverage, so I feel like that's at least another year away from delivering as promised. Now, the Pro cameras won't change how I use it, but I cannot deny the raw power and the display are just more impressive than I anticipated. Apple Pencil is the same, but then there's a new Magic Keyboard for the 12.9-inch model that's specific for 2021. I looked up the dimensions, and its width and height are the same, but then the 12.9-inch iPad Pro is 0.5 millimeter thicker, and that's what probably is requiring this new Magic Keyboard. The 12.9-inch also weighs 0.11 pounds heavier, but come on now, Tim Hulk can handle that. The 11-inch iPad Pro stays the same dimensions, and the case works for it and the current 4th generation iPad Air. There's also the new white Magic Keyboard color that will look awesome for the first day until you gunk it up. I'll find out if I really end up taking advantage of its new features, but I'm waiting to see what WWDC brings on top of this iPad Pro as well. So it's a good Apple for me, but a cautiously optimistic good Apple with hopes for more. Now, the 11-inch iPad Pro starts at $799, but it doesn't have the new Liquid Retina XDR display. The 12.9-inch iPad Pro starts at $1,099. You can pre-order them on April the 30th, and they'll both be available in the second half of May. But what does a maxed out 12.9-inch iPad Pro look like? Well, check this out. I jumped on their site, and let's go with the larger, fancier display, obviously. Space gray for the color. We got 2 terabytes of storage, and then we're going to go with the Wi-Fi and cellular option. And we're talking basically $2,400. And then you add a Magic Keyboard for the larger display. That's an additional $349. Plus AppleCare coverage is another $149 if you're going to go that way. And you don't have to go like that large, but that's just for your information. So that's the entire Apple spring-loaded event. It was one of Apple's best top to bottom in recent memory for me. And if you thought it was meh, it's probably because you didn't get what you were hoping for. I would just say be patient. There's so much more year to go, and I think you'll live. So I would love to hear what you all thought about this. Give me your rating of the event from, let's say, a scale of 1 to 10 and why, because whatever your reactions were, I just want to know. And again, I still think we have a whole lot of year left, but this was the first event from Apple in 2021, just the first. And me, jeez, I just was like, sheesh, that was crazy. So I'm kind of leaning more towards a 9, probably because I love the new iMacs and I love the new iPad Pros, even if I'm still on the fence about both of them. And the presentation, it was slick, it was done cleanly. In an hour, bravo, Apple, bravo. All right, that's going to do it for this video. My voice is like about to die. If you like what you see, give me that thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell, ding, to get all my videos when they drop. And if you want more of that Apple goodness, you can check out my Apple Bits XL audio podcast to get the latest deep dive with all these stories and new ones every week with special guests. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Apple spring loaded. That thing was freaking loaded. Take care and be safe, and we'll see you soon. Peace.